This video is going to be about finding the limit using an equation rather than a graph. The first extremely important thing that we need to know is that this video is going to be about the limits as x approaches a number rather than infinity. So previously we had learned a set of rules for when x approaches infinity. For example, if I had an exponential equation and x approached infinity, we would look at the base, and since my base here is less than 1, I know that would be 0. These rules do not apply when x is approaching some sort of number rather than infinity. Your first attempt, the first thing you should try, should always be to plug the number that x approaches into the equation. Here I've given you a graph of y equals x squared, and we're going to use it to think about the limit of y equals x squared as x approaches 2. The graph's just here now to help us understand what's going on, but in the future you won't have a graph always. So let's look at when x equals 2. So I'll put in my vertical line. I can see that from both the left and the right, I am headed towards a y value of 4. Therefore, my limit of y equals x squared as x approaches 2 is 4, since the left and the right would match. Now, I could have actually just done this in my equation by plugging 2 into x squared. So I could have just done 2 squared, and that would have given me 4. So when we have nice normal graphs, we can simply plug the number in. In this example, you can see I've made the equation quite a bit more complicated. Don't worry too much about what I've done to the equation. Just accept that this equation will give you this graph seen on the left. Notice I have added a hole to the graph. Now again, we know at this point that we would be able to find the limit. So I could look to the left, it looks like it's approaching 4. Put my vertical line. And from the right, it's also approaching 4. So I know this limit's 4, but how could I have done that using the equation? Well, what we just learned is to always try plugging our number in first. So let's do it. So now I've rewritten my equation, but instead of x's, I've put 2. So I've just plugged in 2. So let's simplify this. We're going to have 8 minus, it looks like 8. So I have 8 minus 8 all over in the denominator. I'll have 2 minus 2, which is 0. Well, that simplifies to 0 divided by 0, which I know is undefined. Now this shouldn't surprise me too much if I'm looking at the graph as well, because I see there's a hole. So I would have known that f of 2 was undefined. But if I was just looking at an equation, this might be a little bit concerning. So this 0 divided by 0 case is actually going to be something really special, and it means we have that hole. So what we're going to do is just pick a number really close to 2. So, I mean, 1's close to 2, but how about a little closer? I'm going to pick 1.9. 1.9 is pretty close to 2. So if I plug in 1.9 and go up, I should get a number pretty close to whatever that limit was. Now we're going to have to round, and you're going to have to guess a little bit, but it should be pretty accurate. So let's do it. So my second try is going to be to plug in a number close to 2. So I'm going to have 1.9 to the third minus 2 times 1.9, that should be squared, all divided by 1.9 minus 2. Now I did that in my calculator already and I got 3.61. Now we know the answer is 4, so this isn't actually that great. So let's try another one. How about 1.99? That is even closer to 2. So I'm going to do that now in my calculator and we'll see what we get. I ended up getting 3.96. Now I bet you guys can guess what's happening. The closer the number is to 2 that I pick, the closer I will get to 4. If you want to be extra sure, you could pick a number on the other side of 4, like 2, other side of 2, excuse me, like 2.01. But I'm pretty comfortable here saying that this makes me think that the limit is 4. Now, a quick note before we go on to more examples is that make sure when you're putting this in your calculator, you're doing parentheses around the numerator and then parentheses around the denominator. You will not get the right answer if you do not do this. So I highly recommend you try it right now in your calculator. Make sure you get the same answers I got to make sure you know how to use your calculator. I'm going to do 2 more examples now without the help of graphs to show you how this is going to work. So in the first one here, remember we're always going to start by plugging in our number. So our number is 0. So I will do 0 squared minus 25 all over 0 squared minus 4 times 0 minus 5. Now this one's really nice because all these zeros just kind of go away. So I have negative 25 over negative 5, and that is just 5. No problem at all. So this limit, as x approaches 0, is 5. Great. So now in my second one, again, I've actually got the same equation, but now I'm approaching 5. So I'm going to plug in my 5. So I have 5 squared minus 25 all over 5 squared minus 4 times 5 minus 5. Again, you can put all of this into your calculator, but make sure you are putting parentheses around your numerator and then another set of parentheses around your denominator. And if I simplify this up, I'm going to have 25 minus 25, that's 0. 25 minus 20 minus 5, uh-oh, that's also 0, which I know is undefined. So I probably have a hole here. So I'm going to use my second technique of picking a number close to 5. This time I'm going to pick one a little bit bigger. I'm going to pick 5.01. So I will do 5.01 squared minus 25 all over 5.01 squared minus 4 times 5.01 minus 5. Again, parentheses around your numerator, parentheses around your denominator. And I got 1.666. 3 sixes. Now, this one's not as obvious as when you're getting closer to 4, but I think I'm close enough to 1.6666666. And if you guys are comfortable with fractions, that is actually just 5/3, which is kind of a nice number. Otherwise, if you said 1.6666666, I guess I would be all right with that. Now, just so you guys all know, tomorrow we're going to take a quick quiz, which I'm saying in quotes. It's not really a quiz, but a quick check-in on Schoology during the Do Now and make sure how you're doing. But as well, I will be checking to see that you have done these 3 homework problems. Remember, first attempt plug in. If it works, great. If you get 0 over 0, you got to try something different. Pick a number close to it and see what you get. Good luck.